Hello, hello. All right, so I am back with some really good insights that I'd like to share with you. I had literally in the same week another serendipitous moment where I was talking to a client about a well-known weight loss institution that has women trying to maintain their weight within a 2-pound range. And I talked in my maintainers group about this. And just an FYI, the Half Size Me maintainers group has over 100 members at this point, which is insane. Like when I started this in 2013, I didn't think we'd get 100 people all having lost various amounts of weight, working on keeping it off, all at different amounts of time in, helping support each other, give clarity to this part of the journey. But I am so thrilled I have that because it has made a huge difference in my journey. So anyway, we got talking about this and how because so many people need that connection, especially in maintenance, and they have this false belief that they have to teeter within a 2-pound range. What typically happens, what I see happen, is they are not within that 2-pound range. They then feel negatively about themselves as if they've done something wrong. And then they stop going to said meetings for support and help. And then their weight starts to spiral up more because when we are in a place of shame, we tend to not do things that are in our best interest. And what happens is they slowly start to pile the weight back on to where they're well above this 2-pound range. And then they can't, and then if they go back, they have to kind of almost start over, start anew. And what I do in the Half Size Me community, and what I would encourage each and every one of you to do, is I have all the people in the maintenance group decide their own maintenance weight. Crazy, right? No BMI chart, no doctor's notes, no 2-pound regulation, because that's not the point. We're all grown-ass women or grown-ass adults. We don't need someone to tell us how much we should weigh. Like if you've lost, let's just think of this very logically. You're 225, you lose 50 pounds, you're down to 175. Maybe you're above the BMI chart. Maybe even if you get a doctor's note, right? You say, okay, the doctor says this is okay. Well, the problem with all of that is it's not an intrinsically driven thing that you're okay with. You are still going to someone else to give you approval to be there. So when someone joins our maintainers group, all I ask them is, are you at a weight you're happy with, that you are not pursuing weight loss, and that you are maintaining somewhere between 10 and 20 pounds of where it is you think you want to be. That's pretty much it. Because the gist of it is I want them to take the autonomy back. I want them to be the writers of the rules. I don't want to make the rules for them. They're some of them older than I am. I want them to make the rules because it's their body. And at the end of the day, the more you take and seize back control and you say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I've lost 50 pounds. I'm feeling amazing. My blood markers are better. I'm pulling 50 pounds. It could be 20, it could be 10. It doesn't matter the amount. I am good with where I'm at. I feel good. I'm moving. I'm not hurting. Life is grand, right? Who is anyone else to tell you what you should be? No two human beings' bodies are the same. So everyone is going to be different. And the more that we try to adhere to someone else's rules and expectations, the more we open ourselves up to self-sabotage. So I'm going to encourage you to take your freedom back. You decide what your goal weight's going to be. And remember, we talked about naturally occurring versus man-made. Naturally occurring, put the scale to the side. This is what I'm willing to do with my eating. This is what I'm willing to do with my fitness. Where those two merge, that's my naturally happy occurring goal weight. That's where I can settle in, enjoy my life, do things with the grandkids, with the kids. I'm not beholden to somebody else's expectations. Because if you go for the man-made weight, you will sacrifice to get there. Everyone does. It's like you see the tape on the horizon. You're like, I can get there, I can get there. And you feel your leg cramping, you feel your foot kind of acting up, and you're still pushing, you're pushing. When in reality, you probably should have stopped a mile back because you're suffering from some kind of an injury or problem area. But you see in the horizon that you have something to cross. What if There is no thing to cross. What if you run, you get further than you are now, you feel better than you do now, and you stop the race when it feels good to you. And then you say, you know what, this works for me. As opposed to if I chase this goal, force myself to do this, I get there, then what I often see in those beautiful 100 maintainers that I just mentioned is some of them are doing things to try and stay there that maybe they don't want to do, or it's just at a level that feels really, really rigid. You can make the decision on how rigid you want your experience to be. And you can decide what range of weight you want to stay in. You don't have to follow someone else's guidelines. So I just want to empower and encourage you to think about this a little bit differently and say, how can I actually be successful this time? How can I not only lose the weight, right? Which I'm sure many of you have done before, but how can I keep it off? Better for the person who weighs 175 to keep that 50 pounds off versus struggling to get down to 145 or whatever the BMI chart says to be okay, and then for them to flounder for the rest of their life and struggle, and then potentially open the door to gaining it all back. That makes absolutely no sense. When keeping 50 pounds of weight off of your body is only gonna help you. So please hear me on this. You get to decide. And if what you're doing now tells you you don't, question that. Say, is this real? Because if that's what you've always done, right? If you've always joined something, they say, hey, here's the weight you need to be okay, to be quote unquote free, you don't have to pay anymore. You're paying with something, whether you're paying with your dollars, your attention, your sacrifice, you're paying. So if you don't want to go down that road, you don't have to. You take back your freedom. You say, not going to play this game. I'm going to use this. I'm going to learn from it. Great. I'm going to define my weight range. I'm going to define my goal weight. I'm going to find my naturally occurring weight, because yes, it sounds very alluring not to pay money every month to use these things. However, if I'm paying with my energy, my time, I'm feeling kind of boxed in, you can be in a prison cell and lose your freedom, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a financial burden. It can be a different kind of burden. So I just want to throw that idea out at you. You guys have a great day. I am excited to talk to you about this stuff. I hope it's helpful. Please like and subscribe and share these videos with somebody who could use them today. I will talk to you soon.